What's going on, folks? Happy Tuesday. Welcome back. Oh, I was already in full screen. Hi, hope you're doing well. Well, first of all, as I said, we're killing Vexen. We fought him last time, and today we end his pathetic life. His face framed, his horribly sallow face framed by dull blonde hair. We're gonna tear that hair out. Gonna be very exciting. But before that, though, we have this trivia by Cool's Guy. It is Guess the Cage game from the review quote. I'm going to put this up here, the code, and we're going to, I'm going to read the little description that Cool's Guy provided with this one. So let me see here. Well, first off, if you'd like to join, if you're new, you go to play.blooket.com, and, yo, Whale, congrats to you and Water on a successful fundraising stream. If I'm not mistaken, I believe there's going to be a regular Pat diss track that Whale has composed. I do believe that incentive was met, so I'm shaking in my boots. This was cleared with me, for the record. I haven't seen it. They actually offered. They're very nice. They both approached me and said, "Listen, we want to write a diss track, but I want to make sure you're okay with it." I said, "No." Well, first of all, yes, I am okay with it, but no, I don't want to see it. I want to be blindsided. What? Wait, Panda? Panda? Oh, she's the one who pushed you over that incentive. Very exciting. I thought you were saying that she ghost wrote it for you. I was like, that makes sense. Just read, least suspect it. I don't know why I have beef with Panda, but it's like a recurring thing sometimes. Yeah, no, I'm ready to get destroyed. I've been slinging the tracks myself, but now someone's firing back. So, oh yeah, right, the description. So let me pull this up. I copy-pasted it from the first page. So Cool's Guy says, I've pulled quotes from several reviews of Kingdom Hearts games, and your job is to figure out what game they're talking about. Two things to keep in mind: these quotes are entirely from reviews on YouTube, and I've tried to steer away from YouTubers who already focus on Kingdom Hearts. Thank God for that. Yeah, PJ actually ghost wrote a piece of a verse from a rap that I have not released yet, which I don't know if that's ever coming out, but it does exist. So, but yeah, PJ, Whale, Panda, that'd be like a very scary trio right there. Tell Pat it was me. Yeah, the Elena Tyrell move. What else? Actually, on the Patreon, if you scroll like probably a year ago at this point, it's like a Wonderland track, and PJ wrote a few bars, and he said that I could use it. So, what else? I've been watching cutscenes again all day. I'm nearly done. I'm still on the fence as to whether or not I'm gonna watch. You know what I need to do, by the way? I need to have a project where I don't need to, like, really research or read or watch a ton of shit. I would love a project to start with writing the script. It takes such a long time to go through stuff and be thorough. The series is just bigger and bigger. It seems like it gets bigger every day. You would think it wouldn't, considering how often we get stuff. But, God, it's like watching the cutscenes from every game, even on, like, triple speed, takes a while. But I've been watching, what did I do? Yesterday I finished Days, I got through Birth by Sleep, and Dream Drop, I think. And then today I did 0.2 and Melmem, not very funny, and I've gotten through a good chunk of 3. And I'm on the fence as to whether or not I'm gonna look at Dark Road and Union Cross. Oh, and Backcover. I watched Backcover today. Backcover is funny. Melmem 0.2, not very funny. Not very funny games. But Backcover is probably going to be on the higher end because Master Masters drags the average up. Also, Great to and thank you for the 11 months there. Appreciate that a ton. What else? I don't know. KH3 is just really funny. I knew that it was going to be the funniest game before I even started the project. Honestly, it was the inspiration for the project. I was just like, man, this game is so fun in terms of the interactions and just like the character moments, the banter, and to compare that to the other games, like, and I'm not saying that something has to be funny to be good, but I definitely enjoyed the filler, quote-unquote filler moments in 3 more because they were having fun with it and not in like a decom, we all laugh and we pan out way, which they do sometimes in 3. Like, that's how Olympus ends, but it feels funnier, that's all. Obviously it's subjective, but I guess that's the point of it, right? Um, like even just up to the end of Olympus, I'm like, no, I'm past Twilight Town now. I'm between Twilight Town and Corona. Like it probably is already beating or on its way to beating most of the other games in their entirety. So really fun stuff. Oh, okay, I'll have to take a look at the, I'm a few days behind on the Google form for the spreadsheet. But yeah, if you do want to submit a quiz, if you're interested in doing that, if you look beneath the stream, there is a socials or a links page or links tab, socials, yeah. There's a little tab that says socials, and the last link there is submit a quiz. So if you're ever looking to do that through Blooket, you can follow that, the instructions in there. Again, several quotes are pretty long, so feel free to take your time reading them. Okay, got it. No, so with Days Encoded, I am just looking at the games, mostly because it actually does both projects favors to look at the games. There's definitely stuff that gets cut in both movies that would bring up their funny scores, so I think it's just in the interest of fairness to look at all of them, or to look at the game versions. And the thing with, like, Dark Road, I have no problem looking at. I just feel like it'd be weird to, like, go through that in its entirety, but not do Union Cross. But Union Cross is just, like, so long, and there's so many Disney cutscenes, but I'm not even sure. Like, I think KH Insider has all of them. It just sucks having to. Like, to be honest, Days Encoded have been the most unpleasant parts, because with the other games, with the voice-acted games, I can just put it on and multitask and do something else while I listen for stuff. But with Days Encoded, you have to, like, actually read the dialogue. And there's no real way to streamline that beyond just reading fast and putting it on, like, 3x. Yeah, Rocks at the Stick is only in the game. There's this thing about chests. We tend to open them, that they tend to have stuff in them. That's only in the game. Zigbar has some fun moments, like on the recon mission, his banter in Halloween Town with Roxas. What's up, Zach? What else? Yeah, Coded is very, like, Disney Channel funny, and that they attempt it and you're probably not gonna laugh or even exhale, but God, Dream Drop, I will say there's, like, nothing in the grid that even seems to be like an attempt at humor. I'm also doing this thing where I am, like, assigning an MVP to each game for, like, who is carrying in terms of the humor department, and you know, when you really, like, stack up all of the moments and, like, who's really being the heavy hitter, you might be surprised with who some of them are going to be. Yeah, like, Recoded has this thing where it, like, does references, actually. Like, Cloud references Cerberus, like Dirge of Cerberus, when they encounter the dog. He's like, oh, I've heard that before. And, like, Titus has this, I think it's a reference to the lap scene. It seems too pointed and specific for it not to be, but Titus says just sort of like, what do you think I've been doing all day, having a laugh? And for that, the character saying that to be Titus makes me think that it's, like, intentionally a reference to the FF10 laugh scene. There's another one that I can't remember. Oh, go the distance. Hades says, let's see if her can really go the distance this time. So, cute little things like that, but that's, like, the extent of the Coded humor. Oh wow, we got a big crowd on this one. All right, let's, I'll get in here. Let's see. I'll read the description one more time for any latecomers here. 6514892. I'll be, in reference to IGN calling Roxas this, I'll be Garbage Pat. I'm garbage character that nobody cares about. Okay, so let me read this, and then we'll get started here. Once again, this is from Cool's Guy. Cool's Guy says, I pulled quotes from several reviews of KH games, and your job is to figure out what game they're talking about. Two things to keep in mind, these quotes are entirely from reviews on YouTube, and I've tried to steer away from YouTubers who already focus on Kingdom Hearts. Alright, so here we go. I think it's 30 questions, so a bit of a longer one, so strap in. 1, 2, 3. Actually, 3, 2, 1. What's up, guys? Oh. If the Elric brothers have taught us anything about reviving things from the past, it's that some things are better left dead from Nintendo life. Is this about Recoded, the cloud versions of KH1, 2, and 3, Melmem, or Days? I really feel like I can only rule out one of those. Damn. The cloud versions. You know, I thought just from that being there that was probably going to be the answer, because that's like a specific thing to distinguish, but I thought maybe Recoded, because like it's such a retread of KH1. I don't know, that's weird. If the Elric brothers have taught us anything about reviving things from the past, so that some things are better left dead. It just seems weird to refer to like porting the games to, or like putting them on the cloud as reviving them. That seems like a diction choice that I don't fully understand. But I get the sentiment. I agree with the sentiment. Don't do that. At least if you're gonna do it, make it good. Okay, number 2. But she's probably not dead. You gotta remember the rules. Kingdom Hearts rule number 1. Nobody dies from Ant Dude. Is this Days, KH2, BBS, or KH3? I really only have 2 guesses. Like 2 actual guesses as to who it could be about. Oh! Wait, 2? Okay, who's the she? Ursula? Who is he talking about? Maleficent? I guess, but like, Naminé? Maleficent makes more sense than Naminé. Cool's guy, do you have like the context for this this quote? So obviously, I think most of us went with Days because we're thinking he's talking about Shion. And I thought maybe 3 because he's talking about Kairi and he's like in the end game part before they resolve that. Yeah, I did not even consider Maleficent. I was thinking purely original. He's talking about Maleficent. She's getting ganked by the Noodle Heartless. Oh, okay. The Dusks rather, the nobodies and the midpoint. Okay, damn. What can you do? All right, I am 0 for 2 right now. Number 3. Oh. Well, it says a lot about the hyperbole that likes to hover around this franchise sometimes that I've seen this game described as both comfortably the best game in the franchise and also a disappointing mistake that Square Enix should apologize for, but I don't think either extreme is particularly accurate from Rabid Luigi. DDD, BBS, KH2, KH3. I would think, okay, yeah. KH3, I mean, I really like KH3. It's not my absolute favorite, but I've rarely seen it described as comfortably the best. I think comfortably is probably the operative word there. I've definitely seen it described as a disappointing mistake that Square needs to apologize for. So, really, I think, for me, this quote more so applies to KH2. I think it is a disappointing mistake that Square Enix should apologize for, but that's just me. I'm kidding, mostly. I'm mostly kidding. Okay. Number 4. Well, I mean, it really could apply to any of these. The worlds of this game feel hollow and lifeless, with fewer moving parts and extraneous life. That is fine for those that are purely interested in battles, but I prefer a little eye candy along the way from IGN. Recoded, BBS, 2, or Days. Yeah, but okay, as long as we can just admit that this is true of all of these, really. And actually no, Birth by Sleep is probably the least guilty of this critique. I mean, obviously you can't like write a review. I mean, this probably comes from like several different people. It's not like they're like future proofing or even going back to their past reviews and comparing. But I would hope that a similar complaint was made about these other 3 games if you're going to make it about BBS, because BBS at least has moments of like actual platforming or like mechanisms you need to interact with to progress throughout a world. Like the classic example I always come back to is the thunder on the gauge thing in Disney Town in the underground portion. All right, as long as they like, you know, because this really, like, all these games are to a degree, especially of like the life, like the actual like entities, like the people, the characters. None of these games excel in that. So I get that, but in terms of like structure to the levels, and having actual moving parts, I think BBS is heads and shoulders above these other three. Van, thank you so much for the 245 bits and babs. Appreciate that. This is a good quiz because we get to like have a discourse in the middle of the questions. So I appreciate this so far. All right, harder than I thought it'd be too. Number 5. Oh, thank you. One sec. Oh, this is me. Okay. As a standalone game, I was like, this feels familiar. I don't think any other entry in the series matches the level of intrigue that this game imparts. I was so genuinely engrossed in this game when I first played it for nearly the entire playthrough. The game kept me theorizing and on my toes, and it fully motivated me to continue my quest from Ordinary Patrick, KH1, Chain of Memories, Days, or KH2. Also, Van, thank you for gifting a sub as well to the Chris of many, can't read that last word, 14 gift subs from Van. Thank you. I should remember this. I wrote this script. It's actually referring to the Chain of Memories underrated exercise in intrigue is the name of the video essay there. So intrigue was the keyword that tipped me off. I mean, this is also true of one in that I was definitely engrossed with it, but I would not say that it is more intriguing of a game when compared to Com. But definitely not. No, not 2. I'm intrigued at the beginning, and then I'm just going to shit on 2 again. All right, let's check in 5 questions. Silver Inferno, Ribbon Review, Daybreak, Too Many Crowns, and No Feet. Number 6. Oh. I would think... Oh, that's tough. Not only is this some of the most varied combat in the entire series, but this game has been more fun to complete than any other KH game thus far, that is, until the very end, from the completionist. BBS, Dream Drop, KH2, or KH3. It all depends on... Okay, I got it. I just thought from this, like, the most varied combat, like, I do think in KH3 there are more ways to attack and to, you know, initiate combat than the other examples here. I'm trying to figure out what he means by most fun to complete until the very end. Is it, like, the synth stuff or the classic kingdoms, maybe? Unless he's talking, like, the difficulty of the bosses. Oh, pro codes. Okay. Yeah, I've never actually gone through with the pro codes, so dummy stuff. It's probably no surprise to people who've been watching me for a while that I think all of these quotes so far have been foreign besides my own, because I tend to not watch a ton of KH stuff outside of like my immediate circle. But yeah, cool. There you go. I just figured if you're saying most varied so far, it's probably a later game in the series. Moving on to number 7. I think it's gotta be... Okay, so from Shafrillis, it's like going... Did I pronounce that right? It's like going from the flat randomized dungeons of Persona 4 to the magnificent elaborate palaces of Persona 5. Only problem with that analogy is that this game has 2 Okumura's palaces, which I do know what that means. Okay, good. That's a good take right there. I'm guessing the Akumura Palace is Arendelle, and what would be the other, like, maligned world that people don't like to navigate? I don't know. Is it... I'm not sure what he would mean by that. I know Arendelle's got to be one of them. San Fran? Caribbean? I don't know. That makes sense, though. I like this, because, you know, flat tips me off that we're moving off a cage, too. But, yeah, the Akumura Palace, I think, is just a reference to, like... Because that palace is just kind of confusing to get through. So that's why I don't think it's San Fran or Caribbean, or at least I don't know if that's, like, a good analogy. Like, Arendelle makes sense, because there's literally a labyrinth, and, like, the outside is so samey. I'm just trying to figure out what the other one could be. Also, Carnival Password, thank you for the follow. Okay. Yeah, I was thinking about the Pikmin 3 one. That was funny. All right, number 8. I don't know. This game gave us what we didn't know we were looking for. It's an introspective view of ourselves, immersed in the worlds we love so much, actively participating in their storylines and building relationships in ways we didn't know were possible from Resident Arc, Cage 1-2, Recom, or FF10. Okay. I was gonna say, like, you know, unless it's an FF10 ass pool here, Cage 1, I feel like, is the only one that deserves that sort of description, because you're definitely not really actively participating in storylines in Cage 2. Like, you're doing stuff, obviously, but it's really, you know, movie plot stuff. And then Recom, I think, would be kind of high praise for something. I mean, I don't know. I guess immersed. I don't think you can really get immersed in a Recom world in the same way that you might get immersed in a Cage 1 world. Yeah, I guess what we didn't know we were looking for would apply to Cage 1 the most, so that makes sense as a good tip-off. I'm not trying to shit on 2 constantly, but I think Cool's guy might have known what he was doing. All right, number 9. Okay. Not a whole lot has been done to overhaul the system, and there's definitely a been there, done that feeling to this game. You'll be killing the same Heartless in the same ways and the same environments. It's grating after a while from IGN. Recoded, Recom, Dream Drop, or Days. I think there's a couple of sort of hints here. Okay, Days, yeah. Because I think to say that Recoded doesn't overhaul the system would actually be unfair to it. I think Recoded does overhaul the system, but it would, like, the killing the same Heartless in the same ways, in the same environments. I mean, not so much the same ways, but the same environments I could see. Days really does just kind of pull from, you know, 1 and 2, both in the environments and in, like, the way that Roxas fights. Like, obviously there are shakeups, but I think Recoded is better at that. Would it make sense for it to be Dream Drop because you're not really killing Heartless in that game? And then Recom definitely overhauls the system with the cards, so that's how you kind of puzzle that one out, I think. All right, number 10. Trying to figure out what this could mean. What could this be referring to? I'm sorry, would you stay at a hotel called Cameras in the Bathroom? No, you wouldn't. From Some Call Me Johnny. This is Calm 3, BBS, or Days. I really have no idea. I've never watched this, so... I'm sure it could be made sense of, but... It was Calm, okay. Reference to Castle Oblivion. I guess it's like the name, like, don't go into a place called Castle Oblivion, don't go into a hotel called Cameras in the Bathroom. That makes sense. Yeah, that does make a ton of sense, actually. I don't know why I said Days. I guess I was thinking, like, maybe Xemnas has cameras all over a castle that never was. All right, there you go. Let's check in 10 in here. Strawberry Kiwi Snapple, by the way. R Mogul, Silver Inferno, Silver Review, Daybreak, and Just James. Number 11. Trying to think. Jesus, is this one canon too? No, I'm serious. Is it actually fucking canon? Because I will sink into the goddamn darkness if it is. Also from Some Call Me Johnny. Back cover, Smash Ultimate DLC, Vcast, or Union Cross. Damn. I just didn't think he would even have covered that. That's why I thought it was a little too obscure for, like, a general gaming channel. So that's why I steered away from it. But maybe he just mentioned it in a different review. I said Union Cross because I thought maybe he actually did, like, do a whole video on that. I've, like, heard of Johnny, but I would think it'd be weird to do a whole video. He mentioned it but didn't review it. Okay, there you go. I guess my head was in the wrong spot there. I was thinking, like, the whole topic is VCast, which seemed not likely. All right, number 12. One of these plot twists actually has to happen, right? I'm all for redeeming villains whenever it's appropriate, but this is actually idiotic from Shifreless. Cage 1, 2, 3, or Shrek 3. I don't think any villains in 3 getting redeemed is idiotic. Ooh, I got it. I knew it. I knew it because like I don't think this guy's an idiot. So I figure like I think trying to redeem anybody like Prince Charming in Shrek 3, I hate that. So that makes sense. Actually, does Prince Charming die? How does Shrek 3 end? Not because I'm actually not sure. I feel like Prince Charming is the only villain in Shrek 3. Doesn't he like get crushed by the castle? He doesn't get. So why did I say that then? Because for a sec I was like, oh yeah, in Shrek 3, I hated it because I remember they like basically solved their problems by talking, which pales in comparison to the violence of Shrek 2. But then like doesn't Prince Charming get crushed by the castle prop thing? So Justin Timberlake makes a speech that makes like all of like the background villains. Okay, cool. So I got that right for like the wrong reason. And also because I was kind of metagaming it and thinking surely one of these plot twists will come to fruition here. I don't think Xehanort being redeemed, like I don't even think he is redeemed in KH3. Like they are definitely soft on him and giving him all this this fluff, like a fluff piece with Dark Road. Not all of it, but some of it. I think you could like there's an angle there, but I don't think he's like fully redeemed by the end of 3. So good job not making that take. Number 13. I totally get why some people can't take this seriously, but I find that the pure insanity of these concepts is what makes Cage so special. I like that it has an air of confidence in what it is, and I think that would be lost if the characters were constantly winking at the camera to remind me that it knows it's dumb from Nam's Compendium. DDD recoded Cage 3, Cage 2. Ooh, I got it. Yeah, I kind of just figured out of all the games, and this is actually kind of timely because as I've gone through and watched all the cutscenes and tried to look at it from like a humor perspective, I think Cage 2 is probably the most easily made fun of game. I think it is the most made fun of game, and just in terms of like, I think it's like a poster child for the series. Like, I think there's no better like symbol for the insanity or like the the mixture of properties than Mickey in the black coat saying something edgy. So that kind of led me there. And this is a great point. I think this is so true. I think Kingdom Hearts never really feels like it has to justify itself or get too crazy with the fourth wall stuff and like acknowledging kind of how outlandish the combination is. So good take here. Also, Andrew, thank you for the 25 months. Appreciate that. Number 14. As an adult, it's easy to look back and laugh at this game for its everything, but when I was young, damn, this was some serious shit, and the ending left me with a bit of a lump in my stomach from the Gaming Brit Show. Days, Cage 1, Cage 2, or plot twist, this is in reference to Metal Gear Solid 4. I think I can rule out one of these. Probably 2. Okay. I rolled out MGS4 because there is silly stuff going on, but not goofy. It's like, nanomachines, etc. Cage 2 wouldn't really make sense to leave a lump in your stomach because that's like the mainline game with the happiest ending, or at least out of these options. And I just kind of tend to think that people played Days a bit older than they did when they played Cage 1, and Cage 1 has a very sad ending as well. So there you go. I think KH1 is probably easier to laugh at. Like, I think Days is definitely taking itself more seriously more of the time. So, I have seen the monkey, Drebin's monkey. Little Gray, is that his name? 15, halfway there. Oh, it's me. Well, I can roll out one of them. Which one am I talking about? I think it's that one. I haven't been on the record talking about it too much yet, but I think it's underrated both as a whole and in individual aspects, even when comparing it to the number of titles from Hum Drum Pathu, Calm, BTS, Days, or Dream Drop. Yeah, I can definitely roll out one of them. Okay. Yeah, because my previous quote in this quiz was saying how underrated Calm was, so I would think it weird to pull from that again. I'm guessing this comes from my world ranking project for BBS. That would make the most sense to me. Probably like the beginning of that first part. So I don't think BBS is overrated. Oh, okay, PJ misread. Yeah, no, I do not think BBS is overrated. I think it's up there with Kama as one of the most underrated. All right, halfway there. Let's check in. Plot twist. I'm talking about Cage too. Let's see. It is me, Silver Inferno, Armogul, Scylla Review, and Bearfax, number 16. King K. I like King K. This is one person I've actually frequently watched his stuff. My favorite games are all experiences I can't find anywhere else for one reason or another. In this case, I haven't seen a game so accessible, yet so polished, so insane, yet so coherent, so dumb, yet so meaningful. Cage 1, 2, 3, or A Birth by Sleep. I could see him saying this about really any of the mainline ones. I know Cage 2 is his favorite, so, yep. There you go. I haven't watched his Cage 3 one yet, but I would think that I probably would have heard this general sentiment expressed just on Twitter or something. And I know that he likes Cage 2 a lot, so. All right, 17. Probably that. There are even side quests and side routes to pursue if you'd like to spend a little time digging deeper, but the path to the end is pretty simple and clean from IGN. Cage 3, Melmem, A Dream Job, or Boo, You Stink! Bum, bum, ba-dum. I don't think Cage 1 or 2 are dumber than the other. I just think, like, Cage 2 is easier to meme on. Yeah, Melmem makes sense because there's literally like side routes in terms of doing the songs in the world tour, and the side quests in terms of like synthing stuff and like making tracks and like little missions you can do. So that made sense to me. All right, 18. This game looks great, sounds great, and feels great to play. Even with the additional content added to the final mix version, it never felt truly overwhelming from the completionist, Cage 1, 2, 3, or BBS. I like when it's a quote that's like generally positive. It's like the mainline games and Birth by Sleep. Those are like those are your options. It's gotta be 2, right? No? Oh my god, see? Wow. I just, like, as someone who loves Cage 1, I was just not thinking that somebody would describe it as, like, nobody ever says it feels great to play. I think it does, but I feel like most people don't. And I guess I would think that the final mix, obviously there's no final mix in 3, so I would think that the content added in the final mix version of 2, like, there's so much more in terms of, like, the data organization and lingering well that it would potentially feel more overwhelming. Cage 1 doesn't add that much more stuff, but 6 people got that one. So let's see. Actually, I want to see. Good job, you folks, and one more person. Number 19. I was looking for Dream Drop. Okay. I don't really know what King K doesn't like. I think it's probably this. This game is a playground of ideas and mechanics that are certainly fun to play around with and even to master, but it's wrapped in such a boring package. Days, BBS, Melmem, or Recoded. Looking for 2? I was looking for Dream Job because I just thought of Flow Motion when he that first part. Okay. Yeah, Recoded makes a lot of sense. And actually, I don't know, I'm sure I watched this, but probably a long time ago. When I was doing the Myth video, I had Mike or Jason read a quote from Nomura about I think it was like making a playground or like making a theme park or something, but as a game, and that was like in reference to Coded because we were debunking like the Nomura drunk thing. So if King K is like playing off of that whole concept, that makes sense there. Because it's true, like Coded does have like some pretty mechanically interesting stuff with its combat, but like when it's all not really contextualized in an interesting or meaningful way, that's what makes it kind of a slog. So good take from King K again, I think. Number 20. I don't know. What this game does represent in its mechanics and its world design and selections and its story that I've left unmentioned is playfulness, freedom. Kingdom Hearts could be anything and get away with it, from K-Bash, BBS, Dream Drop, Recoded, or 3. I think it's gotta be this. I think a Dream Drop. Yeah. I think flow motion, is a generally playful feeling thing. I think it's a very, it gives you a lot of movement of freedom, so that makes sense to me. And its mechanics and its world design, yeah. Even though I read this as like world selection, but I'm not sure if I kind of stumbled into that accidentally because it is like definitely the more off kilter game with like picking, Tron Legacy or Country of the Musketeers or Fantasia. Like those are some weird pulls. All right, let's check in at the 20th question. It is me, Mogul, Silver Inferno, Silver Review, and Stupid Computer. 21. Huh. I would think... As I was writing the script, every single question I wrote into my notes ended up being answered by the end of the game in some way or another from Cat Icarus. I have watched some Cat Icarus stuff. So this is 2, 3, Dream Drop, or Recom. I feel like it can't even apply to most of these. So, wow, that's interesting. Because I think there's stuff in Cage 2 that's definitely left up to interpretation. I mean, unless he's just not asking questions about like, what Zigbar is talking about, or if he's playing Final Mix, like they certainly don't answer what's happening with the Aqua armor, what's in the letter at the end. I think Recom is probably that was what I guessed because I think like there's definitely like some cliffhangery things, but I feel like the game proposes a lot of questions in that game, and by the end of it, it has answered most of its questions. Cage 3 definitely does not do that. In fact, it introduces a ton of stuff that does not get resolved. So that's an interesting take there, at least with these options. I'm sure Cage 2 answers more questions. Like it definitely answers more questions than 3 or like BBS or Days, I guess. So, but yeah, I really thought Recom was the most logical one. 22. This is probably like a bad take. Disney, having long been as artistically bankrupt as a vending machine, care less about interesting new reinterpretations than their copyrights being depicted in the slightest negative light, so the specter of compromise hovers around this game like a bad smell. Cage 1, 2, 3, or it's actually about Epic Mickey. Wow, really? Oh, okay. I thought it was a really bad take about Cage 3. Honestly, like, I played Epic Mickey, and I didn't think it was, like, I had problems with it, but it wasn't in terms of, like, oh, this feels like there's, like, executive meddling here to keep this from being interesting or kind of weird. Interesting. Soul Blossom, thank you for gifting a sub to Rob Salab. Appreciate that. The only KH game Yahtzee is... I don't even really know who Yahtzee is, to be honest. Like, I've heard, but I don't think I've watched any of their stuff. This is so curious to me to see this set about Epic Mickey. That's true. That's true. I have seen the Epic Mickey concept art, and that stuff is definitely way zanier. But I don't know. As somebody who played the game without looking at the concept stuff and not really knowing any story or lore behind the production, it didn't seem like devoid of like personality, or that there was like a bunch of meddling. But that was just my take going through it the first time. Okay, 23. Huh. Bigger eyes than normal. Maybe it's just me, but sometimes Goofy seems to have bigger eyes than normal. It has no relevance to the plot, of course, but it just weirds me out. From Ant Dude. This could apply to literally any game with Goofy in it, I guess. I don't really personally remember a time where it looked like Goofy's eyes were out of proportion. 1, 2, coded or com. Oh, coded. Okay. I just guessed. I think most of us probably guessed on that. 24. I have a theory as to what this is about. Now, that's something I can jive with, and man, I really hope by the next game it actually has some proper fucking payoff from Johnny. Melmem, Dream Drop, 3 Remind, or he's actually talking about Ratchet & Clank going commando. My guess is that he's talking about Kyrie. Okay, I got it. I'm thinking he's referring to, like, Kyrie talking about, oh, I gotta go train more, and she's gonna seem to be, like, more playable or more involved. Melmem being the most recent out of all these things, so that makes sense. There you go, or Aqua taking Kyrie under tutelage. So, does that happen at Melmem? Oh yeah, because they go back to the tower, right? For some reason, I always think that it ends in the final world, but they go back to the tower, and then it ends with Yen said saying, Scala ad Caelum. All right, 25. I mean, I would think it's this. The strength of the game's narrative doesn't lie in the overall plot. It's largely underdeveloped and only comes together in a convoluted fashion towards the end. Rather, it's all about the individual tales that accompany each world you travel to, from game trailers, DDD, BBS, KH3, or game trailers pronounced as Xehanort as Xehanort. Oh, okay. So you got credit for Dream Drop and the pronunciation one. I thought I was talking about 3, because everyone always dogpiles on 3 in that way. Zemnas! What the fuck did you call me? Have you been reading the reports? I mean, if anybody who can read would know that it's not pronounced Zemnas. God damn it. This is what happens when you float across the cosmos going to Disney World and skipping school for a year. Anyway, yeah, I mean, I guess I was so ready to hate on this quote for being about KH3 that was actually by Dream Drop, and it's not that bad of a take, but, you know, Xehanort probably tells you all you need to know. Homework. All right, checking in. 5 questions left. It is me, Mogul, Silver Inferno, G-Meister, and PJ the Critic. Number 26. I think it was the convoluted part they were talking about. Well, this game assumes you've played God. I didn't have time to read the whole quote, but okay, that makes sense. I really thought that one over. To just say that about 3 or Dream Drop would definitely be like underselling how much you need to know. So it had to be one of the earlier ones, because like Dream Drop doesn't really pull from Calm that much. I think Days. I mean, you can definitely play Days without Calm. You shouldn't, but you could. Like Calm is, you know, depicted off screen in that game, so you don't really need it. Like, you definitely want 1 and 2 more than Calm before you play Days. But okay, 27. Probably this one. Woot, yeah, let's dance. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, but let's keep doing it. From Johnny, we have KH3, 2, Dream Drop, or BBS. I mean, I feel like this can apply to 3 of these, but it's probably... Oh, man. Okay. He's got to be talking about dancing with Rapunzel in Corona. Like, you dance with Ariel, like, you kind of dance, like, you're not really controlling it, but sort of dances in KH2 Atlantica. I guess, like, the break time commands, maybe, for the dancing in the other games. I don't think anybody... I guess, does Ven kind of break dance? So, there's a little bit of dancing in all of these, but I think that makes the most sense for 3, because it's actually fun in that, so. 28. Christ almighty, I'm not even sure this guy is human, yet his snarkiness comes across as 10 times more human than any of the actual humans in this thing, from Cat Icarus, Back Cover, Chain of Memories, Birth by Sleep, or he's actually talking about Horizon Zero Dawn, which I have not played. Ooh, is he talking about Vanitas? I was thinking Master of Masters. Ooh, and I was right. He's got to be talking about that. Which I said earlier, he really carries the back cover funny score. I think like really every funny moment in that, and it's only like an hour of cutscenes, but I think every funny moment is Master of Masters either led or involved. You could say like Lushu interpreting No Name as being the actual name is like a Lushu moment, but even the mom is involved there. All right, 29. When it comes to completing these games, they tend to take a lot of time, a lot of grinding, a lot of focus, and a lot of RNG and hope, and in the case of this game, that whole aspect definitely applies here from the completionist. Recom, BBS, Dream Drop, or 2. I might have biffed this, if I really look at the language. Okay, I got it. Yeah, Recom, I think, like, the hope is, like, the RNG with, like, the enemy cards and getting the drops. Obviously, the focus in the grinding with getting the characters to 99. That's part of the trophy. For a sec, I thought, when it comes to completing these games, like, we only talked about, this would be the second one if you're going in order, but that was, like, a red herring there. All right, final question, number 30. No one can lighten the mood quite like Donald Duck can. The world may be on the brink of destruction, and the boundaries of reality blurred across the space-time continuum, but with a single quack and a well-timed waggle of that feathery tail, it's all forgotten. From GameSpot. Cage 123 or Dream Drop. I have logic for this. This feels like something that you would say about the first game. I was wrong. It was about Dream Drop, which nobody answered, because he's in that game the least. Like, he's in Country of the Musketeers. I guess the reality being blurred across the... I don't know. This really reads as, like, this is not something you should still be saying as, like, a game review corporation or whatever by 2012 about Kingdom Hearts. Like, what a tired and, like, such a stale sort of thing to say by this point. Like, I'm not even saying, like, it's not a bad, it's not like a bad thing that they're saying about the game. I just think, like, really, like, this is what we're talking about 10 years in. Okay, well, there you go. Let's see. I'm pretty sure I am on the leaderboard here. Slipper Inferno in third, Aramogul in second, and I am in first. I guess I have, pseudo-reviewed the game, so it makes sense that I had a mind for this one. And then in fourth, it is, that's Nicole. And in fifth, it's To The Max. And then Stupid Computer in sixth, Daybreak in seventh, Bearfax the second in eighth, Just James in ninth, and PJ the Critic in 10th. That's shocking, too, because I think out of all of those, like, obviously I had two of my own quotes in there, so that probably helped me, although I did struggle with the one. I've really only watched most of King K's stuff, and I maybe Cat Icarus once or twice, but I don't even know if I watched the ones about the questions that were featured in this quiz. Let's see the percentage. I'm gonna say 48. Maybe we'll never know. Maybe we'll never know. Cool. Well, I'll tell you what is up next on the schedule here. Looks like the Blooket crashed at the perfect moment, which is when it ends. Let me see. I am still here, right? Like, I'm not... Nothing else has crashed, has it? Okay, I'm still here. Thank you, Cools Guy, for that there. Everyone say thank you to Cools Guy. Cools Guy put that one together. That was a longer one. Probably a lot of research and watching stuff goes into that. Oh, 38. There you go. There, it's right there. So I was 10% too high. That was a tougher one. Up next on our trivia schedule, we have OLED trivia. Trivia all about OLED by Got Vodka on Thursday at 6. And then on Saturday at 4, before we play Sly 3, Fruitoon made a sequel to the Cage Lost in Translation trivia. So Fruitoon took Kingdom Hearts quotes through Google Translate and put them through several different languages, and then it spits out the final result. You have to match that up with the character who said it. And then from Zach's first trivia here is Cage Super Bosses trivia. That'll be a week from today. First stream of May 2nd, Tuesday at 6. There you go. We're going to do the hurdle, and then we'll switch over to Chain of Memories. Let's see. Let's hear. That is Deep Space Howley. Boom. There you go, baby. Happy. All right. Let's switch on over. And no worries. I'll see you, Cools Guy. Thank you again. See ya. Who is that? Bearfax. Have a good night, guys. And I will pet the Presto and say goodbye to the VOD people. Bye.